So it's time to check out the M3A3 Bradley. And I think this video might also sound in mono audio. I kind of messed up my settings and the last couple of videos have been affected, so my apologies for that. But after this one everything should be fixed. So the Bradley, this is a vehicle that I might say might be my favorite vehicle of the platoon. It doesn't have a big gun, only a 25mm autocannon, but the Bradley does have Tau ATGMs, top-down attack missiles, and they are very fun. Let me tell you right away, they are very fun. Tau missile basically allows you to shoot the enemy vehicle over obstacles, and yeah, let's see how this will work. And again, thanks to the commenter who actually said that I had mono audio enabled. It was actually enabled. I was confused first. I was actually thinking, well, what mono audio? I actually went to my settings and yeah, it was actually enabled. So my apologies if that did affect the last couple of videos. I know it probably will, because all of the videos here have been recorded after, before I actually changed the settings. So yeah. That happened, I guess, but in any case, now the 25mm autocannon is basically it's good. It's able to penetrate a lot of armor in top tier. Not many vehicles have any armor in top tier, so it's actually fairly decent. Has a BFS DS shells, which is amazing. My favorite shell type. But the main thing on the Bradley is that ATGM. Now that ATGM is able to actually shoot behind cover, since you guide the missile on top of the enemy vehicle and you are aiming at the top armor, which usually is fairly weak compared to the frontal armor. And yeah, as you can see, that's a very nice hit. The missiles do reload fast. I think it has about 4 or 5 different... It should have about 10 ATGMs stored, and then you have to reload for a longer period of time. So that's one thing to keep an eye out for while driving the Bradley. Now, I actually did enjoy this vehicle a lot. I enjoyed the Bradley a lot more than I enjoyed the previous two vehicles, the previous two main battle tanks. This little IFV is surprisingly fun in this game. Now the 25mm autocannon might be on the lower side when it comes to penetrating power, but honestly that ATGM is the only thing that you really need. However, as I mentioned before, in top tier most of the vehicles have literally very little to no armor, so you can easily penetrate most of the main battle tanks nowadays. Oh, well, there goes the turret on the T-55 AMD. Someone also asked me, can the T-55's AMD intercept the Tau missile? It actually can, but I feel like not many players who use the T-55 AMD know how to actually use the... not many know how to use the APS system on the T-55 AMD. You have to look towards the incoming missile in order for the missile to actually do anything, for the APS to actually do anything. You have to look towards the enemy tank and towards the missile while it's flying to you if you want the APS system to do its thing. I also love how, I mean, you can easily penetrate like all of the lightly armored vehicles without much of a problem. And for the main battle tanks, you just aim to detonate the missile on top of the enemy tank so that it does damage to the interior of the vehicle. Now, armor wise, I mean, the Bradley doesn't have any armor, it's paper, so you can't really rely on the armor of this vehicle. You have to rely on cover. The Bradley is pretty tall, and you can get destroyed if you take a hit in the turret by high explosive or explosive AP ammo. But yeah, the Bradley doesn't have a lot of armor, so you can't really do hull down, you can't really rely on the armor at all. So best thing is to shoot from cover, shoot from well guarded positions, and shoot enemy tanks that are hiding behind rocks. You can also shoot behind rocks yourself. I mean, yeah, that's just how you do it. You launch the Tau-2B missile right on top of the enemy tank, and the missile does its thing. And just like that, 5 destroyed vehicles with the Bradley so far. Honestly, it might be my favorite Bradley in the game at the moment. I mean, we have the M1 and then there is this Bradley. I feel like this one is much better because of the missile launcher. The missile launcher is really good. And of course you get some good ammo. Easily able to cut through the lightly armored main battle tanks. That was actually a really good hit. The rate of fire is really good on the autocannon. And again, the autocannon, while having a very small caliber, you don't really need a lot of penetration for top tier, which is why this vehicle works so much better in top tier than the M1 Bradley. Because in top tier we actually don't need to penetrate a lot, since most vehicles have little to no armor. And you get a PFSDS mini darts, 20mm darts, very interesting. It's honestly very good. The ammo is actually very good on this vehicle. That's also very good. That's actually an ammo rack. I cannot believe that one dart managed to detonate the ammo on that vehicle. That's interesting, to say the least. You can also shoot at aircraft with this machine gun, or, well, auto cannon, I guess. Okay, I took a hit from the missile, from the tandem missile, and somehow I'm still alive. 1.2 thousand millimeters of penetration, and I am somehow still alive. That's interesting. I think you also have high explosive, and for occasions like that you kind of want to use high explosive. I just picked a PFSDS ammo since I already have the ATGM. But so far this has been a surprisingly good first match with the Bradley. I really enjoy this vehicle so far, it's very fun. Okay, well, time for me to move a little bit forward, and this is basically how you should be playing this vehicle. It's not the not the stealthiest, but honestly it gets the job done. And I kind of like the height of the vehicle, allows for some interesting positioning. You can shoot over obstacles, but have to be careful. And that was a nice little first battle with the Bradley. Let's go to the next one. So this is basically the CM25, but in tier 9. Now the CM25 also has a Tau-2B missile, basically shoots over cover, top-down attack. This does feel a bit more playable since it actually has some armor, and you are definitely going to be able to survive some artillery with this a lot more often than with the CM25. The CM25 has very little armor. It's open basically, so any close proximity high explosive is going to be destroying the vehicle. In this case, since it's closed, it actually is able to survive close proximity high explosive shells, which is very nice. And we have our victim behind the rock there. Have to be careful though, the ATGM knows to have some very weird accuracy, so you have to have a clear line of sight if you want to use it. Okay, I need to aim on top, and there we go, that's the first damage done on the ZTZ. Now they are confused. The ZTZ is probably confused, they don't know what's happening there. Another successful hit, and another successful hit. This is such a little trolling machine, top tier trolling machine. I love this little Bradley, it's pretty fun. Not as a troll machine as the IT one, but honestly, top-down attack at the moment in this game is really evil. You aim above the vehicle. If they're hiding behind cover, yeah, that cover is not going to work. That cover is not going to work. Okay, I wasted my ATGM on that, but it's fine. So, as I mentioned before, this is probably going to be my favorite tank of the platoon. Honestly, very enjoyable to drive around with this thing. Much more enjoyable than the first Bradley that we get at tier 7, I believe. Much more enjoyable. That ATGM on this thing is really something. I think the best thing on this whole platoon is definitely the Bradley. I'm not saying that the other vehicles are bad. I'm just saying that the Bradley, this little thing, is the most fun, at least for me. I mean, a ATGM box, as usual, is my favorite type of weapon, or should I say, not exactly weapon, but my favorite. But yeah, weapon system, I guess, my favorite weapon system, and it really gets the job done. Even the main autocannon is able to do really well. Also has a machine gun, but I feel like the machine gun on the Bradley is going to be rarely used, since you already have a very good autocannon that can replace a machine gun that's able to cut through armor without much of a problem. I would say it might be much more enjoyable to drive this thing than to drive the ZT3A2. That tandem bus has a very good missile, but unfortunately it just has wheels and it doesn't really respond well to the controls. Also, it's huge. Not necessarily a bad thing that it's huge. It has its advantage, but it's a very big target. It's a very big target, and seems to be a lot more vulnerable to close proximity high explosives than, for example, the Bradley. I was bombed and I didn't really take much damage. So it is able to take some hits. That was a good hit. There is a main battle tank over there. Let me just eat another missile. There we go. And one more. Well, okay. Someone destroyed the tank. I did my thing, I guess. I think I did my thing there with that main battle tank. And now I'm reloading. The reload is actually fairly long on this, so you have to make every little missile count. Can't really waste rockets, ATGMs with this vehicle, since the reload can take long. I feel like the reload is definitely longer than the reload on other ATGM boxes, but honestly not a big deal. You should do a fair amount of damage by the time you have to reload. And honestly, definitely, as I mentioned, probably on the previous videos as well, definitely one of my favorite tanks. Well, IFVs, I guess. This is not a tank, infantry fighting vehicle, but yeah, it gets the job done, and it's really fun to use. My favorite tank of this platoon. So, I would say, is this platoon worth it? Is this platoon good? Yes, absolutely. This platoon is definitely good. It is enjoyable, it is more than usable, and if you prefer a fast vehicle like Leopard, and if you're looking for a tier 9 Leopard, honestly this platoon is definitely going to fulfill that purpose. And well, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. My apologies for the mono audio in this video and probably the previous video. I don't know where, I don't know on how many videos I messed up that, but yeah, that's just what happened. In any case, Hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.